AAU basketball, which is a completely different argument than the Black American thing. I think whenever you bring race into something like this, it hijacks the conversation and takes away from the initial point.
I don't think it's appropriate to call KD reckless with this comment. And I think that it's important to point out that while you talk about victimhood when it comes to racism, right? There is a history that shows black people have been victimized by racism.
Yes.
Not in every single case, not always or anything like that, but the fact of the matter is that's a reality.
Well, it turns into a battle between Kevin Durant and Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic when obviously because there's Wemby.
He's saying that when y'all come with this cynicism and this skepticism, it is aimed at the Black American players.
The lights go up, the crowd leans in, and the internet stops scrolling. Because tonight, one of the loudest voices in sports media basically put a spotlight right on one of the league's most private superstars. When StephenASmith pressed Kevin Durant live over his fiery comments about TeamUSA critics, it didn't feel like just TV anymore. It felt like a courtroom scene. No soft questions, no friendly back-patting. This was a straight-up grilling that dragged in pride, Olympic pressure, culture, and the future of American basketball.
Predominantly players in the NBA are African American, but there are also a lot of players in the NBA and around the country that are Caucasian and involved in the same developmental structure, right, of AAU basketball, compared to the likes of overseas where...
And if you thought the NBA offseason was calm, nah, not even close. This moment turned into non-stop clips, panel arguments, then comment wars across every app. Even LeBron James's name got pulled into it, with people asking what this says about leadership, legacy, and Team USA drama that's suddenly boiling over.
Durant, with all of those superlatives and whatever, Jay, he was talking about the narrative. He wasn't refuting what Kobe had highlighted in terms of European basketball and what they focused on compared to what was transpiring in America and what have you. In my estimation, he was pointing to the narrative.
So what did KD actually say? Because the details matter. In a viral interview, Durant pushed back hard on the idea that European basketball is better, or that the American AAU system is ruining the sport. KD said he hears something deeper in those critiques, like coded talk that feels aimed at Black American players and the development pipeline. He wasn't only defending a style of play, he framed it like a cultural slap. And once you go there, everybody's forced to react. That's when Stephen A. did what he does best. He went straight at it on live TV. He didn't just repeat the quote, he questioned the meaning. Was KD right to call it coded, or was he switching the topic away from basketball questions by turning it into an identity debate? And here's where it got risky. Stephen A. basically said, if you're gonna claim it's a shot at Black America, be specific. Name names, explain how it works. He said it on First Take, and the clip instantly went nuclear online.
They're gonna go at LeBron and Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's the most skilled player in the history of the game. It's gonna be a thing.
Hold on, time. One of the most skilled players in the history of the game who has never cheated the game. He's never cheated the game. The brother shows up. All he wants to do is hoop. Okay,
Great.
Load management with him. Taking his money for granted. He's not playing like somebody that's not a champion. He's pointing out.
Jay Williams agreed with parts, challenged other parts, and that segment became the first domino in a chain reaction across platforms. KD's point was simple. He can read between the lines when people hype European hoops or trash the AAU system like it's the root of everything. KD's point was that those takes carry undertones that chip away at Black American influence in the game. Stephen A.'s response was simple but sharp. That's a heavy accusation. If you're going there, bring proof. He also stressed something bigger. When you've got a massive platform, delivery matters just as much as the message. You can't drop a serious claim and leave it hanging in the air.
Are going to feel the way that KD articulated his thoughts. I understand it. And that's why I sided with him 1,000%, because I'm saying what he's saying is a legitimate feeling that a lot of these guys have, and we owe it to them to acknowledge they really, really do feel that way. They ain't bluffing about it.
I acknowledge his feeling. I hear it, but his feeling is wrong.
This is the classic claim versus execution problem. If you're calling out a systemic issue, you better explain who, what, and how with real examples. Otherwise, the debate turns into noise, and nobody's actually listening. And let's be real, this isn't the first time KD and major media voices have gone back and forth. Questions about durability and leadership have followed him for years, and he's never been shy about responding. He's even taken subtle shots at Stephen A. on social media before. So this felt like another round in a long-running battle, player control versus media pressure. But here's where it gets layered. The same week, this debate caught fire. KD told reporters he's open to chasing a 5th Olympic run at the 2028 Los Angeles Games. That changes the vibe completely. If he's positioning himself as Team USA's veteran voice, calling out critics now looks strategic. It's not just defense, it's narrative control about American basketball pride. That mix of patriot energy and cultural pushback is what turned this from a heated segment into headline material. Now let's talk receipts. Kevin Durant's Olympic resume is already legendary. Multiple gold medals, elite scoring on the global stage. So when he says he wants 2028, this isn't about attention, it's positioning. Coverage from outlets like Reuters and the Houston Chronicle confirms he told USA basketball leadership he wants to earn his spot, not be gifted one based on reputation. That matters, because now the conversation shifts. If you say you'll still dominate and you defend the AAU system, then show it. For voices like Stephen A., the question is obvious. If you're calling out narratives, be clear about which ones and back it up on the court. That tension between talk and performance is what's powering this entire saga. The league right now is buzzing. Trade talk is still swirling. Big names keep getting dragged into rumors. Luka, Donovan Mitchell, even the Houston Rockets roster changes. And on top of that, the non-stop LeBron legacy debates are feeding the hot takes like crazy. And yeah, that matters, because when a star like KD speaks on culture and Team USA, it hits different depending on what's happening with his NBA situation. A veteran chasing more Olympic moments looks way different if his season is rising versus if whispers say his team might pivot or reset. Meanwhile, TV people are starving for storylines that connect everything. International hoops, how NBA style keeps changing, and who actually counts as real leadership in 2026. That's why Stephen A. made this moment stick. He plugged KD's comments into a bigger picture. Aging stars, the global game getting louder, and leadership turning into a public test. And the online reaction? Super divided. Like always, clips of Stephen A. pressing KD pulled huge views fast. And KD and Team USA were trending for hours. Some fans hyped KD up for calling out what they see as bias. Others said he was using a race-based angle to dodge tougher questions about leadership and his choices on the court. Even analysts split hard. Some backed KD's cultural point, while others, especially a few former players turned commentators, said KD made it messy by not being specific enough. People love a headline, but they respect proof too. And that's the sharp edge of this whole situation. And after all that, the talk shifted from did he mean it to what's his next move? Because that's where the next part of this story gets written. Now let's talk legacy, because that's the real engine behind Durant. Lethal scorer, deep thinker, and always a little misunderstood. That's been the KD identity for years. He's been through storms before, and he knows how to turn chaos into part of the story. If KD is serious about 2028 and about protecting American basketball systems, this could be a turning point for him. It can either boost his leadership image or become a headline that won't leave him alone. Stephen A., on his side, isn't just breaking down box scores, he shapes narratives. When he challenges a star like KD live, he forces the audience to pick a lane, stand with the cultural defense, or demand clearer proof. That's how reputations shift in real time. Now think about the stakes. If KD suits up in Los Angeles and keeps speaking on cultural topics, that will impact TeamUSA discussions. Do you want veterans who can produce and handle media storms, or quieter leaders who stay out of controversy? At the same time, the NBA keeps expanding globally. More international games, more European and African stars. So the American versus European conversation isn't going away anytime soon. When stars publicly divide opinions, the league's global branding runs straight into domestic pride narratives. And that's bigger than locker room talk. This is strategic PR for franchises and for the league office. Sponsors and global partners pay attention to how these debates unfold in public. So was Stephen A. right to press KD for names and details? Or was Durant right to call out what he believes is coded criticism? Is this meaningful cultural pushback or a distraction from on-court performance questions? Does this boost or hurt KD's 2028 chances? And when you zoom out, does this remind you of the LeBron versus KD versus Curry leadership triangle? No soft opinions. Be clear. Moments like this don't just fill airtime, they define seasons. This wasn't about who talked louder. It's about whether stars can speak on race, culture, and development without being forced to show proof instantly, and whether media voices get to demand that proof live on air. Kevin Durant and Stephen A. just handed the NBA a storyline that could run for weeks. So where do you stand? If KD's right, who else should step up and say it? If Stephen A's right, what does KD need to show on the court next? Drop your takes below, keep it real, and pick a side. And if you rock with this kind of real debate, make sure you like, subscribe, and share so we can keep these conversations going.